Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Darrow here with another Options and Play video update. There hasn't been a video since before Thanksgiving, just want to say, hope that your holiday was fantastic. If you took a couple days off, I hope you had a restful, peaceful few days. If you're traveling, hope you had a great trip. Back into December now, and averages are starting to pull back a bit. Volatility is creeping back in there. So kind of setting up for what seems like kind of like an interesting finish to the year, right? The last month of the year. It's been kind of an interesting year, and I got to imagine with all these trade headlines swirling that it could be kind of like a busy finish. Also, want to say thanks to you guys that stuck around for last night's option session. I really enjoy the time we get to spend together, talking trading, talking options, talking all things market related, right? So if you weren't able to make it, please go back, check that out. We spent some time going over stock replacement, which I think is kind of particularly useful right about now, as you got maybe a lot of positions that are up a lot, or maybe you're looking to transfer some risk. So definitely something worth taking a look at. That's live on the website, so definitely check that out. Okay. Today, what I really want to talk about is just the timing of entrances again. Okay. I know some of you guys might be familiar with it, maybe some aren't. It's a question that came up just recently, and I feel like I haven't really talked about it in probably like about 2 months. So just a good time to maybe just go over it. And it's an important point, definitely an important aspect of our trading style. So just felt like it was worth it to spend the time and just talk about it again. And actually, the reason why it came up was because of HubSpot. So, I hate like shelving trade ideas. It's like spend the time to write up the trade idea because I think it looks good, and then all of a sudden the next day it has like a huge move, right? And the trade idea just kind of gets thrown out of whack, and that's what happened with HubSpot. Coming into the week, had a nice little reversal setup going, right? Software stocks were acting better. HubSpot had rebounded, closed the gap, and I was pushing up to the 50-day. And we'd seen some of these software stocks really like accelerate when they trade back to their 50-day, right? Okta was one that you can see like right here, right? When it crossed through its 50-day, really accelerated quickly up to the 100, right? And HubSpot seemed like it was setting up for kind of like a similar move, right? Kind of like a high growth, high valuation, high momentum name that looked like it was going to make a run through the 50-day, and there was like a kind of like a pocket that it could really accelerate up into its 100-day, right? But what happened was Monday, market opened lower, right, and stocks got hit hard right away. And within basically like the first like 15, 20 minutes, HubSpot, so if I go to like the 5-minute chart, you can see. So within like the first 15, 20 minutes, the stock had already like kind of like burned. It already burned through the stop range. So the stop range was 156. 156, excuse me, 146.50, 146 in that ballpark, and you can see basically through like the first like 15 minutes, it had already kind of like burned down through that level. So, long story short, the trade wasn't initiated, right? Because it had already hit the stop before like the initiation even was took place. Okay, and there was a question, what's like the timing? Like, how do you know like when to like when to get involved and when to wait? And really, it kind of comes down to the style of the trade. So, generally speaking, I prefer to kind of wait the first 10, 15, 20 minutes just for swing trades, event trades. I mean, like that's really kind of like my approach to this, because I want the books to fill out. A lot of times liquidity is a little bit lower, or the spreads are wider off the open on options. So if you wait like that first like 10, 15, 20 minutes, it allows the books to fill out, bids and asks to tighten, right? And that's why you'll see like a lot of times the updates come after like that 15, 20, maybe even like 30-minute window sometimes. It's because I really want the books to fill out. And specifically for swings, I'm waiting probably 20 minutes, 25 minutes to initiate those swings normally. Um, for event trades, only if they're directional. So only if they're bullish or bearish will I enter after like that 15-20 minute window, right? If it's a volatility strategy, so if it's like a strangle or a straddle, then I actually wait until the end of the day. So like the last hour and a half hour of the session. Okay, so like after 2:30 p.m. And EDI is a great recent example of why I do that, because this trade was written up. So this trade was written up as actually as a strangle going into earnings. I like the setup. You can see I still have the notes on here. So I like the setup. Let me get rid of these. I like the setup going into earnings. And what happened was that ADI had like a big pop. So so it had a big pop on the day. So like the trade was written up here, and then the day before earnings, right? It had a huge pop and basically kind of shifted the risk to reward of the strategy, kind of like materially altered the idea for the strangle. So what happened was because it had such a big move, basically abandoned the strangle idea and went with just like a bullish idea. Okay, so that's why like you'll see oftentimes if there's like an update for an event trade, it typically comes after 2:30. So 2:30 to 3. That's usually when I like to update those ideas because it really revolves around like the stock. If the stock has a huge move on the day that it's going to report or the day before it's going to report, and it really like shifts the trade or maybe like alters the trade materially, then I would like to either like adjust the contracts or maybe like I'll just adjust the strategy or maybe even like abandon the strategy. So if it's a strangle or a straddle, I'm waiting until after 2:30 p.m. typically to put those on. If it's a directional trade, so just like bullish or bearish, usually I'm waiting until after like the first 15, 20, 25 minutes to put those on. Okay. Now, the only time that I'll really trade, maybe like right off the open, is if it's like a day trade. Okay. So if it's something that I'm planning on getting in after the open and closing out prior to the close. So basically, very short holding period. I'm only looking for like a quick move. Then I might get in a little bit faster. But also, something to take into account is that the spreads are wider, the liquidity is maybe not that great. So that's why like trading off the open, like those first couple minutes can be a little bit tougher. But um, that's why you'll see updates, right? The updates typically come like after the first 15, 20 minutes, and then you'll see like the late updates like after like 2:30 p.m. Okay, and that's really because that's how I like to enter trades. Like those are like the time frames when I like to enter these trades. So after the first 15, 20, 25 minutes for swings, and then after 2:30 p.m. for like event trades. So like strangles or straddles. So like multi-direction trades. Okay. I hope this clears things up. The video kind of arose out of a question, but at the same time, it's something that's important that I feel like every couple months probably worth just revisiting, just because it's really kind of important to the overall strategy, like what we do, how we trade. So again, I kind of hope this maybe answers the questions. If you still have, if there's still something on your mind, if you still maybe not clear for you. Please reach out. Don't hesitate. If I can help, I'd love to. Um, if you like these videos, okay, and you're looking for maybe more information about options trading, maybe options education, or option trade ideas, follow up with the link in the description of the video for more information on options in play. All right. Have a fantastic night, everybody, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.